I guess you know what is interesting is that when you guys came out, it was an amazing time for R&B music because
Mm.
you said Blackstreet, you had Boys to Men, you had Jodeci, you had Silk.
Countless.
It
So
was just a lot to stand
H-Town.
out. Yeah,
Yes.
H-Town, yes, but to stand out, how did you guys feel that you had to stand out in order to, when it wasn't saturated because it felt like there was enough for all of us, but how did you guys make sure that you guys are not going to be compared to Boys to Men and Jodeci? Because I think the whole Howard backdrop really gave you guys that sense of, oh, these guys must be cultured and educated because they went to Howard, you know. So it seemed for as a consumer fan at the time, like, oh, these guys are graduates and Howard University, so they're a little sophisticated compared to everyone else. But who managed that? Because you didn't, you know, you guys blew up so quickly. Who managed your image and how to make sure that you guys always were staying above?
Yeah, I mean you hit it point blank. At the time, there are a lot of groups. Groups are in and it's happening, and we were very much aware of that. It is a large part of again why we were formulated in the first place. And yeah, and a lot of them did come and go. There were a
Mhm.
lot that you just mentioned a ton of them. And there are probably 300 more
That yeah,
that came and went, with varying degrees of success. And now it's called marketing. Um, but the catchphrase and the 90s was image. Like
yeah,
that was, yeah, that was the thing. Like, what's your image? Um, and they're the same thing, right? Obviously. And it was us. We were aware of that. And I don't think it's any different from that. As a matter of fact, I think now story is actually more important than music. Um, I, I think that they're definitely of equal value. If your music is trash, it is. But I think that you can have trash music and a great sort of story and commitment to your story and just presence, your
mm,
profile that you can create a little mini culture about that then fuels the music. Sexy Red, like comes to
yeah,
mind, like
yeah,
like like that has Take Heat beats. And shout to Camby, the manager of Take Heat, the producer, is a guy from Howard, and he's a really smart kid. And but they recognized that that there's a whole culture there, that the music, the beats hit, but there's something else going on
yeah.
that is being tapped into. And that's a very extreme version of how I think music is marketed now. But to circle around and answer your question, was that, yeah, we were doing a sort of 90s version of that, where we recognized we need to differentiate ourselves. And the college thing, the sort of, you know, for lack of a better term, sort of pretty boy polished kind of vibe, was something that we could use to our advantage and use it to differentiate ourselves. So that
Ah.
was very deliberate.
How did you handle that level of success then? Because I asked Mr. Dalvin from Jodeci, I mean, what was that like just going from, yes, there's one thing hustling to become a recording artist. Now you're on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. You are
Right.
singing in front of the LA Dodgers. This is things that you can't imagine because there's no how you can imagine being known globally like this. How do you personally handling that level of success at the time?
Terribly. Well, that's my opinion. According to my family, I did a great job with it. I stayed grounded.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with that, maybe in some circles. Um, the short answer and the truthful answer is I don't know, because, and a lot of artists, I'm sure, have probably told you or will tell you that when something is breaking, specifically something as surreal as the way you described it, all these things you sort of fantasized about are like literally happening, and they're all happening within like all this stuff you spent, you know, 5, 6 years imagine, or more, 15, 16 years imagining. Well, It's all happening within like 90 days.
Wow.
So what what's really happening, uh, just to be fully transparent, is that you are chasing it, that it's all happening super fast. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen a professional sporting event live, and if you ever go see a professional sporting event, like go see Laker games. I used to go watch Kobe Bryant. Had family friends with the Lakers, and I would sit right there and I would watch, and the game goes by so fast
Yeah.
when you're right there.
Yeah.
You're just like, the
Yeah.
4 quarters, and that 48 minutes of playing time and 3 hours of real time happened, but it
Yeah.
all went by just like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
because everything is so big and everything is moving so fast. And
Yeah.
that is my analogy for what it felt like.
Wow.
Everything was big and everything was moving so fast that, you really don't have time to process it. And then when you do, it is incredibly confusing, to be honest, because relationships that you've had your entire life shift.
Wow.
You recognize that people that you have known one way, you can see behind their eyes that they are treating you differently.
Right.
That they, yeah. So it's weird. It um it on a deeper sort of philosophical level makes you question sort of everything
Wow.
in a weird way. Like what has been the basis of these relationships the entire time, if how the world perceives me now completely reshapes everything, or the perception of what I have financially, or me being famous.
Mm.
I understand now that that's just sort of part of the earthquake that happens with fame and money. It just sort of creates this earthquake that now, I've since of course heard a million artists talk about it, but it's not a coincidence that we all tell similar stories. That it's really really weird. Um, the money part I like. Fame you could keep. I didn't really. I'm a private guy, and if I I like to move the way I want to move, and if I didn't do in this era, I'd be wild. God, if I am somehow wind up in a high profile from this interview, then I hope to handle it a lot better. But it's not normal for a person to experience fame. Um, it really is. I think Gaga calls it the fame monster.
Mm.
Again, no one's complaining about money and the resources, but and I think that sort of the cliche, the stereotype is that a person becomes famous and they change, and of course, duh. I mean, people now recognize you, you know, coming out of the bathroom. But what really, really, really happens is that everyone around you also changes. No one wants to talk about that part of it, but it's true, and for me, you reconcile with that, but also, internally, you know, the guys we come up together. You know, you are so many different elements that had nothing to do with us making music are now a part of that. And again, the stereotype is that it's the money and the fame, but it's also the label politics, the fact that we're together 24/7
Mm.
for 3 straight years, the fatigue, the they're just a myriad of factors that come into play with success in the music business, especially fast success. I think it's better to have grinded out, and I think that I have thought about that in retrospect. When you asked
Mm.
me if I could have done anything different, it's not in my control,
Yeah.
but ideally, I would love to have sort of come up slowly with milder hits and sort of break out over time. I think
Yeah.
that would have been, I think that would have been, you know, a way I would prefer it. It fits more in line with how I like to do things, for sure.
So a lot of we think of like Coldplay, who would start, and Ed Sheeran, they start up small, play little shows, build up, and then develop their stage, and then get a big record. But then they've already gone through that and slowly build up.
Exactly.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay.
They don't understand what those boys are winning all spirits.
Play it.
these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.